So I hope you've been practicing the other videos that we looked at. Last week we looked at creating a table. So let's quickly open this folder we create on the desktop. As you remember, you right click, click open. And this is inside my folder. So I can choose to use this same folder here, or I can quickly create a new document. So I'll right click, scroll down to new, and this is where you go if you want to create a folder, as well as inserting other Microsoft Word documents. You'll find there is Excel here, there's Publisher, there's PowerPoint, Word, and Access. But for me, I want Microsoft Word. And it is like when it comes out this way, it is asking me to rename it. So I will click inside backspace, then I'll say my second doc, short for document. Then I'll right click just there and click open. Then we'll give it a minute to open. So this way of inserting or creating a new Microsoft document inside a folder, it ensures that your document is inside the folder. Therefore, when you are trying to save the document, you are just updating because your document is inside the folder. So quickly go to insert where we stopped right last time. Last time we looked at the tables, picture, and clip art. So for today, I'll quickly go you through shapes, smart art, charts, alright, screenshot, as well as then we'll skip to header, footer, and inserting a page number, as well as word art. And later we'll look at equation and symbols. So for here, let's say I want to insert a shape. Depending on what you are working on, for example, in high school we have what we call flowcharts. A flowchart, it is how a program or project is sequenced. For example, we have flowchart symbols just here. We have a lot of flowchart symbols we can use to create a flowchart, which you would use using your free hand. So I'll create a simple flowchart so that you see an example. So for a tutorial, you can choose any shape that you want to create, anything that you want, simply to help you practice. Remember, you learn well by clicking and trying out. So click on oval to bring out the shape, left click and drag. If you want it bigger, down or sideways, you move it, and then when you are satisfied with what you want, you let go of the left key button on the mouse. Then to change the inside or the outline, there is here what you call shape fill. If you click on shape fill, the arrow next to it, there are many different colors. This is to show you what is the type of color that you can put inside. And for shape outline, this is the type of color that you want to put, like to bring out the shape, more like the line around the shape. But to save time, we just simply click here, shape styles. There are many options. We'll click there, then click ABC with black outside, white inside, and the font color black. So inside, to type inside, I'll right click, scroll down to add text, then I'll type start. So if I want to put an arrow facing down, I will insert. And let's say I want an arrow. Click on the arrow, and I'll put my mouse exactly where I want it to be. I'll click and then drag down. If I want it to reach there, I'll let it go. And again, here the default it is blue, but if I want it to be black, again I can click here, choose black. So the main purpose of this tutorial is not to show you what a flowchart is. It's simply to show you that if you want to draw something,
Okay, I want
shapes
to
can
add
help you out. This shape here, the rectangle. So if I want to move it and I'm not satisfied with the way it is looking, I can left click on the mouse click without letting go, move the mouse, drag it side to side, up or down, depending on where I want the shape to be. If I want it to be here, I'll put it there. So if I want to make sure it is nicely placed, so we'll leave it here, we'll not go further with this flowchart. So if you want to get the handle on how these shapes work, how you can, let's say, increase the size or reduce the size or simply move them around, the best thing that you can do is practice. So we'll quickly move to Smart Arts. Smart Arts, it is similar to what I was talking about. If you click on it, there's these lists that you see. They are already made. All you would need to do is simply add and then click on it and then add your data. For example, if we add this one, the basic pyramid, and say OK, so you'll find that it is already inserted, and your job where it says text, simply click where it says text, click and add text, and the next one same, click, add text, click, add text. If you are done, you click on a blank white space, double click, and you have your shape there. So let's remove the previous drawing, click and delete, or click and drag. So this is the shape that you entered on Smart Art. They're already embedded shapes which you can use to format your document. Let's say you're working on a research or whatever has been asked of you. You can shapes and Smart Art that can come very helpful. Alright, so let's quickly move to charts. The chart for now we'll skip it because for you to successfully add a chart you have to work with Excel. So don't worry, we'll skip chart for now until we reach with Excel, because some Excel work you can copy them and paste them in Word, but for the chart work we have to do some calculations in Excel. So for the screenshot, simply takes the screenshot of anything that you'd like. Let's say you click screenshots. The best way to know is to try it out. Click screenshots. You wait for it for some seconds. Click screenshots, then click here. If you see here, everything has become gray down. So whatever you want to capture, you can click, and it's more like cropping. Those of you who have a smartphone, you can relate. It's more like cropping. Whatever you want to get, you capture it, then let go, and you find it's already in Word. Alright, then we move to, so for the links, we'll skip them, but if you want to know what they work, how they work, what they're used for, you feel free to click on them. As I said, the best way to know how something works in Excel, in Microsoft Word, is to click on it and try it out. So for a header, there's header and footer. Header as in top of the page, footer as in bottom of the page. For example, as a human being, you have a head and foot. So header, top, footer, bottom of what? The page. So if we click header and we wait for some seconds, there are many formats that you can choose. Whatever you want to choose, you click on it. So you find where we type everything, it is in gray, meaning it is deactive for now. What is active? It is the header. This is where you can type. Sometimes if it's an exam, may ask you, put your NRC here. and your name. Then to close it, simply click close header and footer. You go to insert, click on insert, click on footer. Also, you choose the format that you want. You click on it. Where it says click to add text, you click, and maybe they may ask you put your exam number here. And if you are done adding whatever you need to add in the footer, depending what is being required of you, you simply click close header and footer. And if you scroll up and down, you'll see that whatever is in the header and the footer is activated, and then we remain with the main page per se. All right. So if you want to add a page number, sometimes you have more than one page, you may be asked to add pages to those. So simply click add page number. If you want to be at the top of the page, you go to top of the page. If you want to be at the bottom of the page, you go bottom of the page and choose the format that you want, and that is it. It is inserted, and you click close header and footer because it is in the footer. So we go to still on insert. We try. So if you want to find out a text box and quick parts, what they are, how they work, I'd require you to feel free and click on it. So word art. So let's quickly move to the second page of the document. To move to the second page of the document, bring the cursor down, then click enter. Alright, we'll quickly remove this one. So right now I want to go to the second page. So you'll find that whatever I put in the header, that is also on this, it will automatically show up in the second page. So to go to the second page, simply click enter on the keyboard continuously until you see a new document appear. Word art, it is what you use if you want to format the title of a page, or in most cases cover page. So if you click word art, so there are many, I can say, font types that you can choose from. Depending on the version of your Microsoft Word, click on it and it will ask you to add your text there, whatever your title is. Maybe, let's say your title is my research. You can increase the size. You can increase the font size. To increase the font size, again, you go to font groups on the home tab and increase. So depending on what you're working on, you can format your title that way. So lastly, on insert, I would like to introduce you to drop cap. So you'll notice drop cap, it is in gray, meaning it is not enabled. So for you to be able to add a drop cap, should have, let's say, a paragraph. You'll notice that those paragraphs whereby one letter is big, the rest are small. Let's say, for example, this is what I'm typing. So I'm typing a lot of things. Let's say this is the beginning of, beginning of a paragraph. So I've seen it's now active. It is now activated because of what I've typed. So if I want to add a drop cap, I can highlight the first letter of the sentence only, click on drop cap, the arrow, and choose if I want dropped or in margin. So whatever works for me or is being asked of me, I can simply click on it and you find it if there are any other words, for example. And they will appear that way. It will be here and to appear that way. So at the end of insert, you have these symbols. So you find that in mathematics, that's those symbols which you are required to insert. Sometimes as an exam or as a teacher, whatever you may be working on might be required to enter some mathematical formulas or simply scientific formulas. So let's say you want to enter the equation for 1/2 pi r. So what, let's say, yeah, formula for area is equals to pi r squared. So we can say, first, let me increase the font so that we can see properly. Alright, so we can say area, which is A, is equals to pi r squared. So instead of typing pi r like this, to be too difficult for someone to understand. That's why I find in Microsoft Word there are embedded formulas we can actually use. So click on equation. In fact, you find that area of pi r squared is already here. Some of the formulas you find they're already there. It's already inserted, so mostly you would not need this. Area is equals to pi r squared. Now suppose the formula is area is equals to 2 pi r squared. And how would we insert that? So first we'll enter A. A is equal to 2 pi r squared. You enter 2. Then we'll go to insert. Look at the symbols that are there because pi is a symbol. So you'll find pi here, but if you can't find it, don't worry. Just click on more symbols and you will find it there. Click on pi. Next is r. So on the keyboard, click r in small caps. Then squared, it is a 2. So for the 2 to look like a squared, highlight it. Go back to home. Here you find one, it is subscript. The other one is superscript. You click on the X with the power. You click on it and you have your power, 2 pi r squared. So suppose the formula it is pi r squared over 2. So let's say the formula is area is equals to pi r squared over 2. Yes, we can try to put pi r squared and then a forward slash. We can try it this way. To bring it to normal, you can click there again, over 2. It is okay, but there is a smart way you can do it. Alright? Bring this to normal. Area is equals to. Then we go back to insert equation because the over means it's an equation. So we click where it says insert new equation. Once we click insert new equation, this one, equation 2 comes. So the one we are looking for is this one, x over y. It's a fraction because there's something on top and something at the bottom. So click fraction and choose this one. And all we need to do now is simply click and type inside. So what I want is pi r squared inside there. I'll quickly go back to insert. Choose my symbol, which is pi. Where is pi? Pi, I cannot see pi. There is pi. And then insert r squared. Like I said earlier, highlight the 2, go back to home, click on the power. Alright. Alright. It's deactivated. Since it's already on top, since it's already a power, since it's already on top. However, if you wanted to insert your equation, and this is how you would do it. So when you're practicing creating all types of equations, there is that equation for finding x4. Let's see. Try out any mathematical formula and then give me feedback. If you fail, write down in the comment box. Then I will help you out. So we'll also quickly go to page layout. On page layout there isn't much. Usually what people work on is page setup, background. Page setup and background. So on page setup there is margins. Margin is how the page, where you start the page and where it ends from. So right now it is in normal. If you want it to be narrow so that you can have more space instead of everything overlapping down, you can go with narrow depending on what you're working on. Orientation is how the page will look like once you've printed it. Depending on what you're working on, you can leave it in portrait or landscape. Feel free to try that out as well. I'll leave it in portrait. Then we'll skip to columns. Columns, you've usually seen in newspapers where everything is on one page but side by side. So we'll try that out right now. Usually they use what they call formulas. So if you highlight this one, we'll try and let's see how it works if we highlight everything. Go to columns, choose 2. So you see everything is side by side. Instead of you using the space button on the keyboard, you can simply utilize columns. So we'll leave this, but feel free to try them out and see how they work. A watermark is something you can simply add. It's faint, but you can see it. So these are already embedded. If you want to choose your own make your own specific watermark, you can click custom watermark and then add what you want to be printed together with what you are working on. Let's say I want to type GA21 tests. So if I click OK, you'll see it is there at the bottom. So be at the bottom of every page that I work on. Color of the page, usually this is mostly useful if you have a printer which can print color. If not, best to let it be. But feel free to practice all the different colors that can work for you. Alright. Page borders, usually this one people would use it when they are creating their own cover page. Alright. So to add borders, first you start here. Choose box. Then next, if you don't want to be simply one single line, you can scroll down to choose the line that you want and click on it. And this is the preview here. And if you want to add color, you can choose color. And if the width is too small, you can increase it. Or if you don't want a line, you can choose. There are different arts here. And if you are done, if you want to, depending on what you're working on, this is what you can choose. Like I said, you choose box, choose whatever you want to add there, and then click OK. Then you have the borders there. So that is all for page layout. Not that they are the only things you need to concentrate on. Try out everything. Remember, my job is simply to introduce you that there is Word, and the rest it's up to you to go and explore. So for now, we'll end here. Next time, as we wind up with Microsoft Word here, like I said, the next time we'll look at mailings. So for your task, I would like to get your feedback. I would like you to create a simple cover page and then email that simple cover page to matimbachilala@gmail.com. And if you have any problems, you can email me or leave questions in the comment box. And remember to subscribe. And remember to do what? Remember to subscribe. This way, each time I put up a new video, you can always get an alert. Just there at the bottom, there is a button called subscribe. Click on it, and you'll be getting alerts. All right. See you next time. And when you're ever done with your work, you can click on the save button and then close it. And close everything. All right.